Hi everyone, I'm Mandy Dimitriadis, the Director of Learning at Makers Empire. As teachers and as parents, we've all certainly entered uncharted territory. It's really difficult to navigate the uncertainties as we all work together to make sure that our children keep safe and healthy and are able to keep learning during these disrupted times. At Makers Empire, we really want to do our bit to support you with these challenges. We've developed some exciting new learning at home resources, and I'll share those with you during this webinar.
Makers Empire is the world's most fun and easy to use 3D modelling software. It's been especially designed for children from age 4 to 14. It's a great way for children to have fun while they're learning to design in 3D in a safe, collaborative learning environment. Makers Empire can be downloaded for free on any device your students might have at home. It's really easy for them to access and to learn while they're at home. To support you further, we've developed a new program at Makers Empire, our Learning at Home course. This course is free to our existing Makers Empire schools. New teachers and schools to Makers Empire can also access this course for free by taking advantage of our extended trial offer. The Learning at Home course has been specifically designed for students in K to 6. Later in this webinar, I'll offer some ideas for older students using Makers Empire at home. The Learning at Home course consists of 90 curriculum-aligned design missions for your students to work on. We've put together a comprehensive Learning at Home teacher guide. This can be downloaded from the URL on the screen, www.makersempire.com/learning-at-home-teachers. This guide will give you everything that you need to know to get started and to use the Learning at Home course with your students. Once you've downloaded the teacher guide for the Learning at Home course, you'll have all the information you need to get started and for your students to get started learning with Makers Empire at home. In this webinar, I'll also run through the steps that you need to get things set up and show you how it all works. We'll look at how you need to get set up if you're new to Makers Empire, how you'll get set up and help your students to be ready at home. We'll talk about how to find the design missions and how to share these with your students. We'll have some tips about how to help your students get the most out of the course. And we'll also look at how you might create and share your own mission and finish up with some more resources and activities that are available with Makers Empire. If you're new to Makers Empire, you'll need to begin by setting up an extended trial. Log on to Makers Empire at www.makersempire.com. Select Free Trial for Teachers and follow the prompts to set up your free extended trial. Once you've set up your trial, you'll see a notification welcoming you to Makers Empire. You don't need to take any of these actions right now, so click on the cross to close this box. You're now in your Makers Empire teacher dashboard, and you'll need to get this set up. Click on Class Management and then select Classes. Click on Add a Class. Enter the name of your class and the grade or year level and leave the setting to Home Class Type at this point and then click Save. You'll now see your new class showing in the list of classes in the teacher dashboard. You'll now need to add your students to your class. You can do this by adding one student at a time or by uploading a CSV file. Instructions and links on how to do this are in the teacher guide. You'll now see your students listed under your class, and now your dashboard is set up ready to go. You don't need to have any 3D modelling skills to use Maker's Empire with your students, but you'll probably want to be familiar with the software before you introduce it to them. Begin by downloading the software from the Download tab in the dashboard. You'll be able to select the particular format of the software that you need. Once you've downloaded and installed the Maker's Empire software, you'll be able to log on using the username and password that you created when you set up your trial. When you log on to the Maker's Empire software, you'll find yourself in our 3D world. The first thing to do is to head into the training lab. So click or touch on the turquoise training lab building. Once you enter the training lab, you're being invited to create your Maker's Empire hero. Click on this to begin. Follow the prompts to make your Maker's Empire hero, starting with hair. Once you're happy with your hero, click the Finish button in the bottom right corner. You'll now find yourself back in the training lab, and you'll be able to access a series of training lab tutorials. These are simple challenges that will help you and your students learn how to use the basic tools in Maker's Empire. Whether you're new to Maker's Empire, or whether you've already been using us in the classroom, you'll now need to make sure that your students are set up at home so that they can join in with the Learning at Home course. Log back into the teacher dashboard and click on the small down arrow next to your class's name. From here, you'll be able to download a class list of usernames and passwords. You'll now need to send some instructions and login details to students and their parents at home. In the teacher guide, you'll find some suggested instructions and information to send to families using your preferred communication method. You'll also find a link to a downloadable parent guide which you can send to families at home. Now that you have the teacher dashboard set up and your students are ready to go at home, the fun can really begin. You can now have a look at the design missions that we've created and start assigning these to your students. You'll find the Teacher Missions tab under Class Management in the Teacher Dashboard. You'll see 3 mission tabs: Make a New Mission, My Missions, and Maker's Empire Missions. The Learning at Home course missions can be found under Maker's Empire Missions. Click on the down arrow next to Show Missions For and select the grade level group that you would like to find missions for. Here you'll see all the design missions that we've created for the students at your grade level. Have a look through these and choose one that you'd like your students to do. You'll then need to click the Assign button next to that mission. Select the class that you would like to assign the mission to and click Assign Now. The mission will now be automatically assigned to the students in your class. When they log in to Maker's Empire, they will see that they have received a message from their teacher. In this case, we can see that Tyler has the envelope icon waiting to be clicked next to his profile picture. The student will now click on the envelope icon to access the messages that their teacher has sent to them. You can see here the messages that students receive from their teachers. In this case, the teacher is me, Mandy at home, and I'm inviting Tyler to engage in the goal mission. This is how the mission will appear to Tyler in the app. He can see that he's being asked to design a sports playing field. Once they click Start, the student will be taken straight to the appropriate editing screen to start creating their design. Once the student has finished their design, they simply need to click Finish. The student will then be prompted to give their design a title and perhaps write a description. We know that teachers have many demands on their time, now more than ever. We also know that you want to keep track of what your students are doing and what they're learning. We've made built-in tools to help with assessment and to make feedback and assessment as efficient and effective as possible. To start viewing and assessing students' designs, you'll find the View and Assess tab under Class Management in the Teacher Dashboard. Use the filters to find your class and the missions that you want to assess. If you click on the preview image, you'll open up a detailed view of the student's design. You can then select the relevant result for each design, whether it's satisfactory or above or below. The student won't see the word satisfactory or above or below. They'll get a message that they have passed the mission or that their teacher wants them to have another go. They will see your feedback. You could either write your own feedback or select one of the suggested comments below. The next time Tyler logs into Maker's Empire, he'll see a pop-up message from his teacher telling him that he's passed the mission, and he'll also see a message appear in his profile picture. The student can access all of the feedback and all of the missions at any time by going to their messages in the app. We know that it can be extremely difficult for teachers keeping on top of everything that their students are doing at home. And we also know that parents like to be involved with their children's learning and talk to them about what they're doing. To help with this, we've put together some questions that teachers or parents might ask children about the designs they're creating. And we've also put together some tips about the kinds of things you'd expect to see in students' designs at different grade levels. You can find these tables in the teacher and parent guidebooks. If your students have finished all of the design missions, or you feel like getting creative and coming up with your own, you can create and share design missions for your students. The instructions on how to do this are in the teacher guide. There are lots of other ways that students can learn at home with Maker's Empire. Perhaps they've finished all the missions in the Learning at Home course. Perhaps you have grade 7 or grade 8. Or maybe you're just looking for something different. You'll find lots of suggestions in the teacher and parent guides, including our monthly design competitions and our how-to videos. We really want to help you in any way we can to make your learning at home endeavours enjoyable and successful for both you, your students and their families. So please don't hesitate to ask for help if you need it. On our website and in our teacher and parent guides, you'll find some commonly asked questions which might be a starting point if you're needing help. We have dedicated customer success managers, Rhiannon in the US and Canada, and Jess in Australia and other parts of the world. You can reach these customer success managers using the numbers at the bottom of the screen or in the teacher guide. Rhiannon and Jess are ready and really wanting to help you in any way they can. We also have a 24/7 help service which you can access by clicking on the speech bubble symbol at the bottom right hand of the screen. Thank you so much for joining me in this webinar. I do hope you found it useful and interesting, and I really hope that the Maker's Empire Learning at Home course helps you and your students and their families to continue with learning in exciting, fun, useful ways as we get through this challenging time together. Thank you.